Good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this May 11th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. We're always on Roku, and we're glad you're here with us today.
Morning.
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 Yeah, it's pretty
Friday
out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
Really nice.
I mean, yesterday afternoon, too, it was just like,
It's supposed to be nice all weekend.
maybe spring is like...
I'll bet you we have at least one more little hit of crap.
It wouldn't be Eastern Oregon without at least one more little,
Yeah, turn. One
Yeah.
more turn of events.
Yeah, you just never know. So
That's the only thing I don't like about here.
What's that?
Probably just
the variation in weather.
Just how we can't just move into.
Can't really count on something.
No, and that's why I think the NAIA needs to think about, well, at least for us, like moving back the baseball and softball seasons and high school too, because the first month and a half of the season you don't get to play any games hardly, and you're indoors the whole time.
Right.
That's why EOU softball goes on the road for a month and a half to start the season. It's crazy. They played like 16 games before they even played a home game.
Well, it's funny that, I mean, regardless of why global warming or the change is happening, there definitely is something is shifting. And it's that you're seeing that in sports season. You see that in hunting season. You see it, and so, yeah, all of those things have been a little slow to respond.
Yeah. It's a disadvantage in sports.
Yeah.
Like if everybody else,
is getting a home game and we don't.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
And one of the things that'll help with that for EOU especially is getting turf in up at Peggy Anderson. It's grass, so right now it's just grass does not respond well to gallons and gallons and gallons of water that was snowed on the week before.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't hold up well.
Well, you want to do sports?
Sure. Rock and roll. Sports update. Not much today to talk about. EOU track and field will have the CCC championships right here in LeGrand starting tomorrow at 2 p.m. And then it'll the next day, Saturday, it'll start at 11. And our own Bennett Welch is going to run in the steeplechase at 5 tomorrow. So get up there and support EOU track and field. Benny's been working hard. He's getting close to hitting a B standard. He took like 10 seconds off his PR last week. And
that's what he said. Yeah.
It's awesome. It's good to see him being successful at track because he puts a lot of time into it.
Yeah.
LHS track and field will have the GOL championships the following weekend up here at the high school. It'll be the 20th, the weekend of the 20th. The GOL championships are right here in LeGrand. So get up in there and support them. And then finally tomorrow, LHS baseball and softball have their final league home games of the year against Pendleton, the rival. Both baseball and softball have playoff implications. Baseball starts at 2, second game's at 4, softball 3 and 5. The seniors for the baseball team will be honored directly after the first game, which is roughly 3:45. And then the seniors for the softball team will be honored right after the first game as well for them, which will be roughly 4:45. We're going to stream the games right here on EO Live. So if you can't make it up there to support them, which is going to be beautiful, so just go watch some baseball and softball. Trust me, it's good baseball and softball. But if you can't, they'll be right here on EO Live. Dana says the Eastern Oregon Junior Championships is June 19th, 20th, and 21st. Come see some of the best junior golfers in the state right here at Buffalo Peak. Volunteer if you want to help.
Good.
Yeah.
All righty.
I've never watched golf.
Well, I'm wondering how do you? Yeah, I mean, how do you watch golf?
They probably just stage like viewing areas, and then sometimes people follow.
Yeah.
But
or they'll stay at a hole and a hole, and then he watches people come through.
Yep.
Like
you could like sit on 9 or wherever. I mean, I don't know where.
Have you ever been to a major golf tournament?
Oh, he says not June, May. So that's look at Dana advertising something right over the top of a local sport. Hey, go to the GOL championships for LeGrand track and field. Or go watch junior golf out at Buffalo Peak.
Yeah.
Same weekend.
So, have you ever been to a big golf tournament, like a major one?
No.
Yeah.
No.
It always makes me nervous when, I mean, clearly they're pros and they've done that, but I mean, like when they're
they hit people all the time.
They're teeing off, and it's a very narrow shoot. I mean,
a lot of people have been hit from that.
Yeah.
It's quite. I mean, there's highlight reels of people getting tapped.
Well, you can imagine so. I mean, I would be out there. It's kind of like watching, a Baja race or whatever the case might be, and
all those drift races.
And people get too close to the curbs, and
people
it's like
die doing that.
Yeah.
Golf would not be a sport that I would want to go spectate. It's not my thing.
Well, I mean, I think that unless they were like all really premium players that you had followed all along, and
which I don't. So
I know, and it's an opportunity for you.
But I mean, I guess if somebody that I knew,
right,
like a friend or a family member was
that'd
playing,
be totally different.
then I'd go watch. But yeah.
Yeah.
Dana said he watched Tiger win his 6th consecutive amateur championship. Now that might have been cool.
Yeah.
But like, just go watch a golf event, no.
So yeah. Well, let me give you a little brief update on my physical therapy with Grand Ronde Hospital Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Greg Dombeck is my physical therapist. I'm going to have another little highlight video coming up next week. Doing pretty well. I have graduated from a walker to a cane, and I forget my cane quite a bit. So I'm kind of hobbling around without anything at all. And so that's good. And the movement measurements of my leg being totally extended and straight, and then also it being able to be bent the way that it's supposed to, all of those things are going real well. But
are you supposed to use your cane?
I don't have to.
Oh, you don't have to? It's
No.
just if you want to,
Yeah.
You're good to.
Yeah, but
balance.
I found, yesterday was, and I had over the limit of what I'm supposed to have steps per day. But at the end of the day, when I was getting up and getting going, I was having to use my cane just because of the fatigue and stuff. But
you'd probably be better off just leaving it here.
What's that?
Your cane.
Yeah.
Instead of leaving it at home.
But I was doing, yesterday during therapy, I was doing leg lifts, or not leg lifts, when you're on a machine and you're pressing with your leg
press.
Leg press. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But with just my left leg. So it's within the ability. I'm not stressing it too much to be without a cane. But, you risk the thing. If you fall and mess it up, then that's a big problem.
Yeah, you don't want to tear the stuff that's...
No. So anyhow, appreciate Grand Ronde Hospital and Greg and sports medicine and therapy. And I'll be have another little report with them next week. So
nice.
It's going well. Yeah. So let's take a look outside. It's
clear and beautiful.
Yeah, isn't it beautiful?
Yes.
And here's a little bit.
A nice day for golf at the Peak.
Here's the weather. This is 42, was just a little bit ago out at the airport. And
are we going to get a different one of these every time?
Well, I kind of like this one. I'm looking for something that I like. And this is a little, you can see the forecast through the weekend pretty easily just with pictures. I like pictures.
All right.
Yeah.
No,
So yeah, we miss you, Gabe. Yeah.
That's a whole 2-minute segment that we don't have anymore.
That's right. Yep. So we also, this is kind of interesting. So Z Gumon we talked to her about a year ago. She is they're a family from Ukraine, and they live in Kiev. And when the war started, when we talked to them about a year, it's been a little over a year ago, they were in Kiev. The war was just beginning. And then somewhere in there, when it intensified, they and their family went to Germany and were in Germany for a period of time. Well, now they're back in Kiev. And sometime next week, we're hoping her to get on a program. That'll be kind of interesting. She'll have a report for us. And I talked to her the other day via text message, and she was excited to come back on, excited to tell us what was going on and how they're surviving life. And I just can't imagine putting life together.
We can't imagine it because it'll never happen here.
Yeah, but even yeah, I mean, that's a major city, and you're trying to buy groceries, survive, do life, get your kids to school, back. I mean, just
I thought for some reason I thought they went to Turkey.
I think they had to go through. They had to go through some of those countries in order to get to.
Is Turkey on the
Germany.
Border of Ukraine? I don't know maps very well. I'm not gonna lie. I know where Mexico is. I know where Canada is. I know Australia is an island but like countries in Europe.
Yeah,
not my thing.
Maybe what we'll have to do is, when we're talking to her, we'll pull up a map and like
kind of path it out.
This is kind of where they went, and but cool people. Her husband is still a fighter in the resistance. I follow her on Facebook, and they see each other every few months. But
that
still,
would be weird. That would be crazy.
Yeah,
just a whole different life. We will never know anything.
Well, and what is so freaky about all of that is that before the war, their life was very similar to ours. I mean, very similar functioning, in the sense of it's a major metropolitan area. There, I'm sure that had you said, well, can you imagine your city being bombed by Russia? It'd be like, no, why would that ever happen?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would bomb us, would want to fight America here.
No.
It wouldn't be a smart move.
No. Well, and in fact, there's that famous quote from the emperor of Japan when they talked about the possibility of invading the mainland. And his thing was like, well, yeah, but everybody has guns over there.
Yeah.
And, it would be a very short period of time before the citizens would rise up. And so.
Well, I wouldn't even be that. I mean, that wouldn't even be my biggest concern if I was thinking of attacking America. It'd be more just the layout of the land. Like, we know our country really well. That's why we were so unsuccessful in Vietnam.
Right.
We didn't know how to fight in the jungle.
Right.
I mean, you throw a bunch of guys in the jungle that had never really trained for the jungle. Like,
well, and it was and you're fighting somebody on their homeland.
Yep.
Yeah. So I tell you what's interesting, and I mean, this is just total my ignorance, but had you told me a year ago that, oh yeah, Ukraine is going to successfully push back Russian forces and survive, and they could put together enough of a resistance to even make it a war, like, nah. I mean, I just really thought that. I just thought that it was even foolish for them to even try. And
sometimes I wonder if Russia's like, I have this feeling that Russia hasn't gone full bore.
Well, I mean, there are mixed reports. There are reports that is like that Russia, it really is a paper tiger, and that has kind of been revealed through this process of.
Or they're holding back.
But
one or the other.
But there is, I mean, but still, that like part of what they've revealed is like just keeping their troops supplied with ammunition and food, and
is an issue.
Yeah, has been a real big thing. So yeah, who knows? They certainly have atomic bombs and could
nuclear bombs.
Yeah. And yeah. So
that's the scary part of all of it.
Yeah.
These yahoos have the button.
Well, and you think about that. I mean, that certainly is the case in any of the battles. I watched this really interesting show it's a great series on Netflix called The Diplomat, and really enjoyed it. But it's about a new ambassador, and Carrie Russell plays the ambassador, and she's a great actress, and she's thrown into this ambassador role, and the whole show is about the dynamics between Iran and the Middle East and avoiding war, and there's a lot of things like that you don't even think about that. And it's all about, though, just accidentally triggering some kind of a war between two major countries,
Yeah, it can happen.
Yeah.
Right.
And how weird that would be, how awful that would be. So anyhow, we'll look forward to maybe hearing from Z somewhere along the way. It'd be kind of nice. Also, I want to give a shout out to Valley Insurance, Joel and Matt and their team. They're right downtown LeGrand here. They purchased the old Umpqua building downtown, in Umpqua Bank building in downtown LeGrand. Great guys. And if you have insurance needs, be sure and go check them out. You knew Joel.
Yeah, I played baseball with him.
I was going to say, yeah.
He's a year older than me. His brother Kobe is my age. I broke his parents' chandelier in their living room when I was a senior in high school, playing and wrestling around in the house. They lived out in Perry.
Yeah.
I also got tackled by his dad and running from an MIP one time. His dad was a cop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I ran out the back door, and they knew people were going to be running out the back door. Well, that was my senior year in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good.
That's funny.
I see him all the time. His dad and Kobe. Whenever I go to Baker, I see Kobe. And yeah, Joel's a good dude. His daughter was on my show this year.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I just got a grad announcement from her from my wall.
Cool.
Yeah.
You get a lot of announcements and stuff. A lot of.
That's what I want for in there. I want to cover that whole back wall with them. That'd be kind
those
of cool.
Athletes and stuff.
Yeah. It's good. I've gotten cool stuff this year. I got a ball from the softball team at EOU that all the girls signed. You know what the crazy thing is though? It's like probably my favorite team, and I say this. She keeps saying she's gonna get me something, but I don't have anything from the volleyball team at EOU. And I've told that to Khaki. I'm like,
really?
All the other coaches have given me shirts, hats. And you haven't given me nothing.
Well, and you do a lot of interfacing with the volleyball
because
team.
they were the number one team in the country.
Well,
too.
yeah.
I mean, like, of course they're gonna get. But she's always like, "Oh, we're gonna figure something out." And then this year, I was like, "I'll just take a really good picture of the whole team and have everybody sign it."
Yeah.
And then I forgot, of course. So, and this would have been the year to do it too,
right?
Like one of the best team in U history. I mean, when it comes straight down to numbers and wins, and
we're fortunate. We're fortunate with our sports in LeGrand. I mean,
pretty successful lately.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of things to talk about, whether it be high school or EOU or whatever. I mean,
hopefully it continues like that for the high school. I'm a little bit worried.
Yeah.
After this group of seniors, I'm a little worried. I mean, I'm not saying we're not going to be successful. I just think we're going to have a time where we're not going to have quite as many state championships. But it is what it is. I've told this story before. I talked with the parents of the kids that are seniors now and a couple of the parents from last year about how much money they thought they spent on baseball. And this doesn't include like, you know what I mean? This is just baseball. This doesn't include like any other sports.
Right.
And they said easily since the time they were about 10 years old, $1 million if you added it all up. Easily.
Wow.
And I believe it because this team goes to Arizona every year, the high school team. That when they traveled, they went to San Bernardino. You know what I mean? Like they go all over the place and all the parents go.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's like that Arizona trip probably cost the family $5,000.
Right.
And so add that up plus, traveling all over the place, all the equipment. Yeah, I believe it.
Well, and that is an intense. That's intense. That's a lot of money. But on the same hand, when you think about a kid that does a production out at Elgin Opera House, or a kid that's real involved in dance or music or whatever the case might be. Every one of those things have practices, rehearsals. They're after hours, and they involve a kid hauling somebody out there or hauling them. I mean, so that's not quite the same as intensity, but still it's, parents, there's a sacrifice that parents have to give up in order to get their kids into, or like just even give them the opportunity.
Especially, yeah. It's crazy. It really is.
Yeah.
And so when we're moving forward, I don't know. So the next, I can't really make a decision on whether I think we're going to be like super successful or not, like stone, set in stone, just for the simple fact that I haven't spent a lot of time with the sophomore class of this year. A little bit with the junior, obviously, because it's a varsity, but I got to see more of this sophomore class to know where we're going to be in the next couple of years when it comes to baseball and football. Wrestling, I don't worry about. I mean, we have a really good youth wrestling program, really good mat club, really good middle school wrestling. So we should be.
Yeah.
We have some really good young wrestlers, freshmen.
We should get Clell on the morning show. I was thinking about that the other day.
He's a teacher.
Yeah, well, that's true. We should find a way to give him a little bit of a time. Clearly we do a lot for wrestling and so on and so forth, but I look at some of the other media outlets and they've like done this thing on.
Oh, because he got Coach of the Year.
Yeah. So
we could try, and I don't know what his availability is at 8:00 on a weekday though.
Yeah, maybe we could
kidnap
get somebody to give him a pass, or he could remote in for a few minutes or something.
Yeah, he could probably do that.
Yeah. Oh, which, by the way, so while I'm thinking about this, so Eric Valentine, let me give you a report on Eric. So Eric Valentine, who many of you know, he was a judge here in the area and has been an avid photographer for years and years, and this crazy hiker. Well, so last Saturday, he fell off of a trail. He does a lot of hiking on his own, which hopefully he doesn't do that anymore. Anyhow, he fell off of a trail in the Snake River and just really was pretty severely injured, broke some ribs, broke an ankle, and then he crushed 2 vertebrae, 1 and 2, in his neck. By a miracle, somebody saw him, found him. A Boy Scout troop was a part of rescuing him and getting him carried to a parking lot where I think, and part of that was Baker, their rescue unit, Baker County's rescue unit. What do they call that?
SARS.
What's that stand for?
And rescue.
Search and Rescue. Thank you. And so anyhow, bottom line, he was life flighted to St. Al's in Boise. And I've talked to him a couple of different times and talked to his wife, Meg, and he's doing well. He told me yesterday, he said, my mind is good. I'm ready to go hiking again, but it's going to take a long time for my body to get healed up. His son, who is a doctor, a physician, was with him. And if you go to Eric's Facebook page, and he told me that I could share that, so I probably will share that on our stuff too. But anyhow, he's doing well. Meg, when I first talked to Meg, this was just like the day after the thing. She said, well, he's going to heal. That was her assessment, so he certainly was. I mean, his life was in danger. He certainly was not, this was a very serious thing. Broken ankle, broken ribs, and they did surgery on his ankle to kind of put it back together. They did surgery on his neck with a bunch of screws to kind of get him straightened out, and he'll be in a neck brace. But anyhow, he's doing all right, and he will. I said, well, maybe sometime when you get back, we can have you come on the show and talk about your adventure, and he said, "I'd love to." So,
Yeah.
yeah, funny guy. You know, it was funny. The other, I mean, he walks so much. He's in my Rotary group, and he was sharing. This is about a year ago or so, and he was sharing. Yeah, my watch finally synced with my phone or with the steps. He said, and all of a sudden, it added 200,000 steps to. I mean, he's like, yeah, I'd walk 200,000 more steps than what I thought I had. It's like nobody's surprised but you, man. I mean,
when I was delivering beer, I would hit 20,000 a day.
Yeah.
Very regularly.
Yeah.
But that's a very physical, like you're
Yeah.
up and down out of the truck, down, 20,
That's a lot of work.
20, it was. I was in way better shape than I am now.
You'd probably get to the end of the day and there's your rear end, man.
Get there at about 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
And there was nights when I didn't get done until 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Wow.
2 trips back and forth to Baker sometimes.
Wow.
Or a trip up the branch.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was brutal. That's a brutal job. the delivery, man, is the hard job. I mean, the salesman and the merchandiser, that's easy. Like you just sit there, and merchandiser goes in the back, gets a cart, fills it up with beer, and puts it out on the shelf.
Yeah.
The salesman goes in. Now they all help each other, but the delivery guy loads all the beer on pallets into the truck, drives it to wherever it has to go, unloads it all, puts it in the store wherever it has to go, and merchandises that day.
Wow. So that day you're like filling the end cap or whatever.
Everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it was rough.
Yeah.
That job was rough. I didn't mind it though. I just didn't. It was a job.
You probably met some cool people.
Yeah. Most of them I already knew.
Right.
From, just growing up here.
Now, did you do soft drinks too, or just beer?
Yeah, that's the other thing. The place I work for did energy drinks, soda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have the contract on not Pepsi or Coke, obviously.
Right.
But the other stuff.
Right.
And then like them crystal, those sparkling waters that are flavored.
Yeah.
And merchandising those suck. It sucks. It takes forever.
Do you like the sparkling waters?
Yeah.
Do you?
Like 0 calorie? Like I do.
Yeah, I can't.
No, I don't like those ones you're thinking of. I don't like the foofy ones that come in the can.
Yeah.
What are those called?
I mean, the kids, my grandkids love them.
LaCroix or whatever.
I don't know what they are.
LaCroix.
But it's like, yeah, I've seen the memes of like, yeah, it was the only reason they call it watermelon flavor. It was in the same truck as
a watermelon.
Yeah.
Or it's like TV static in the other room. That's the flavor that you get.
Yeah. No, there's like, yeah. I mean, it's awful. I cannot. I mean, it's like, yeah. I've tried them a couple of different times. I make fun of my kids and grandkids for love, but I mean, I understand if you were a parent and you were trying to give your kid something that wasn't going to rot their teeth or.
Here we go. LaCroix tastes like if you're drinking carbonated water and someone screamed out loud the name of a specific fruit in the other room. Here's another one. New LaCroix flavors. Transported in a truck near bananas. Hint of lime. Single Skittle dissolved in water. Shy watermelon. Imagine like a strawberry, but with a low battery. LaCroix tastes like it was made by a society in which flavor is the scarcest natural resource.
Well, and they've done it in a way to where when you pop the can, it has you can smell it.
Yeah, really.
But there's
really.
no taste. Yeah, no taste whatsoever. Of course, and there's no sugar. So it's
LaCroix is what juice would taste like to a ghost. Oh man, there's so many of them too. It's the concept of a grapefruit souls, raspberry hairs. You can go on and on about those. No, I don't like those ones. I like the ones that are like in a bottle, tall.
Yeah,
they're really flavorful, but it's probably not real good. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no calories, but
Yeah.
it's like all artificially, you know.
The other thing that I think is funny is when they like, you know, and Gatorade did this for a while, and that is, and they probably still do, where the name of the drink, you have no idea what blue ice tastes like or what. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no descriptor of what it tastes like until you taste it.
I only drink 2 Gatorade flavors, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I drink fruit punch and grape, and that's it.
Well, and
I know
and you
exactly
would,
what those taste
right,
like.
yeah.
I don't drink the weird like glacial ice. Or, they got one that's like cucumber or something.
Yes, I've seen that
No.
too. Yeah,
Get
it's
out
like,
of here. No, just fruit punch and grape. That's it.
yeah,
That is all. Then you don't have to worry.
yeah, yeah. I mean, when you have to buy the product in order to define the taste or what it is first, like, no, it's that I'm not in that game, man.
Yep.
Well, hey, you want to get us out of
do
here?
It. On this day,
The 11th,
May 11th, 1907, and the reason why I talk about this is I'll explain it in the end. A derailment outside Lompoc, California, killed 32 Shriners when their chartered train jumped off the tracks at a switch near Surf Depot. Now, the significance of that is I was on a train that derailed near Lompoc, California.
Oh, really?
When I was like 11 years old, right before I moved to Oregon.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did that feel like?
My car didn't tip over.
But you just kind of
Yeah.
like, oh,
I had to sit there for like 3.5 hours. Finally, my grandpa drove from Lompoc and came and picked me up.
Huh.
Yeah. I was on a train that derailed. I saw that and I was like, holy crap, I was on a train that derailed outside Lompoc, California. Because my grandfather at the time was the warden at Lompoc Federal Penitentiary.
Oh, yeah.
And I was going up to visit. So I rode the train from, we were living in San Diego at the time. So I rode the train up from there. And yeah.
That's when it happened.
Yeah. 1910 on this day, Montana's Glacier National Park was formed. That's a cool place. You ever been there?
Several times.
Yeah, me too. We used to go to Whitefish every year for baseball for Legion. So I've been 3 times, and every time we'd go up to Glacier and we'd spend some time at Flathead Lake, and it's a gorgeous area.
That is beautiful.
1929 on this day, the first regularly scheduled TV broadcasts 3 nights a week. 1929 regularly scheduled TV broadcast clumps 3 nights a week.
Wow.
Yeah, 1929. 1947, B.F. Goodrich announced the development of tubeless tires. Tubeless tires, 1947. And then 2015, the record price for a work of art at auction, Picasso's The Women of Algiers, version O, sells for $179.3 million at Christie's in New York.
Wow.
It's a lot of money, $180 million for a painting.
Out of our budget.
It made me swallow down the wrong hole. Number 1 song in America on this day in 1993. That's the Way Love Goes by Janet Jackson. Quote for the day. There's only one plot. Things are not what they seem. There's only one plot. Things are not what they seem.
Huh. All right.
Next week, Tuesday. Don't forget, tomorrow, 2 and 4 for the boys, 3 and 5 for the girls. Softball, baseball. We're going to stream it right here live on EO Live.
And then also on the 15th, which I think is next Monday, at 1 o'clock at the police station, the law enforcement, Gary Bell, the police chief, is coordinating a memorial celebration for those officers that have lost their lives. We did this last year. We'll be streaming that event, and we'll be streaming that again next Monday, the 15th, I think. So anyhow, so be sure and watch for that. You should. It's a cool event. You should go up there and do it. They'll have a color guard. We'll have just some honoring of those people, those officers that have lost their lives in the line of duty. So cool thing. So,
good.
All righty. Thanks,
See
Eastern
you
Oregon.
Tuesday.
Yep. See you soon.